What's going on, faithful? It is your boy Niner Sickness with the N.W.A. podcast, Niners with Attitude. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing great. Happy Monday. It is Monday, January 11, 2021. All right, we're going to talk 49er football. Welcome, Tom. Welcome, Don. I might be solo tonight, or I might be accompanied by Mike, Florida Mike. Might stop by. Boston Hater won't be able to be live tonight. I haven't spoken to E-Man, but I most likely he is probably working, so I don't anticipate him being part of the show, but it's all good. In the hood, I will be able to and should be able to run this show on my own, hopefully. It is cold, so I have my jacket on. Normally, I don't wear jackets, but it is cold, and the wife doesn't want to have the heater going on, so it is what it is. How's everybody doing today? Let me just put this on Facebook real quick, and we'll get this party started. All right. So, how are you doing, Tom? Let me see. Let me get these words. Let me get this in here real quick. Right there. Hi. Good evening, sir. Hello, Don, Jayla, and Ariel. Good evening. Happy Monday. No jersey today, bro. Just a t-shirt and a very thick jacket, keeping me warm, keeping your boy Niner Sickness warm today. I'm trying to get over this cold, and it's been kicking my rear end for about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks now. So bear with me if I feel like I'm out of breath. It's it's not because I'm a big guy. It's because I've been dealing with short of breath. I was tested for COVID-19 and I came out negative. I don't have COVID, so praise God for that. So they gave me an inhaler and some antibiotics, and hopefully that'll take care of the problem. But it cannot keep me away from you guys and doing the show. I got to do the show because I love what I do. I love spending time with you guys. You guys are amazing. And we got 49er football to talk, right? Let me center. Hold on, guys. Let me center this a little bit better. It says, doing good, just relaxing. The girl said hello, Niner Sickness. Tell those two beautiful girls of yours that Niner Sickness is hello, hola, en español, a Jayla y Ariel. ¿Cómo están, señoritas? Es el placer mío de estar aquí con ustedes. All right, little bit of Spanish there. So, do me a favor, guys. Hit the smash that like button. Again, the more likes we get, the more YouTube puts our video on the main line of YouTube, and other 49er faithful are able to see our channel, and they will be able to subscribe to our channel. So if you can be kind enough to hit the like, I appreciate it. Also, if you can share this video on Facebook, any platform that you're part of, I would truly be appreciated for the support towards the show. Um, Kind of remind me again, Tom, where you're at. Where are you viewing this live from again? I'm an old man. I tend to forget. Yeah. No. There's no updates on Robert Sala. He's still interviewing. A lot of the teams are definitely doing their due diligence, and they're just looking at every candidate available for their prospective teams. I don't see and or expect an answer of Robert Sala being hired at least for another week. But once this week is over, things will begin to heat up because the combine's coming around the corner, the Senior Bowl, and technically the teams that are in the playoffs. If you want to hire a coach from a team in the playoffs, then you have to start behind the eight ball. But if you want to hire someone like Robert Sala, who is available now, we should find out by next week whether he'll be a head coach somewhere or he's going to be part of the San Francisco 49ers in 2021. That's what we should know by next week. If not, in at least another 2 weeks. Okay, Montreal, Canada. Oh, okay, Canada. So 8 p.m., you guys have curfew. Here in California, at least Northern California, where I'm at, there's no curfew. I mean, our governor expects, and I'm not saying this about anybody in Canada, but our governor expects us to be adults, to be responsible, and keep our distance. Stay home if we don't have nowhere to go. So they haven't employed any type of curfew here. But if people don't respect it, I can see that coming. Hopefully, that won't happen. Okay, Don, I appreciate that. No problem. No problem. So, moving forward, we haven't heard anything yet about Robert Sala. That's still kind of up in the air. As Tom mentioned earlier, there has been breaking news that came out today from the Philadelphia Eagles. Doug Peterson has been fired or let go. Personally, I think he didn't want to be there no more. I think the owners were taking they were just I don't know this. This is a speculation, of course, but for what I read and seen, the owners and the GM have too much of their fingers inside the pot. And I believe they are not allowed Peterson to coach the way he wanted to coach. Maybe he didn't want to put in the quarterback. A lot of people are saying, well, he got fired because he put in that quarterback and took out Hurts. Maybe that wasn't Peterson doing. Maybe he wanted to keep Jalen Hurts out there. Maybe the ownership told him, hey, we want to pick number 6 and not number 9 in this year's draft. Lose the game. And maybe Peterson just had enough. Maybe he just had enough and he's like, you know what? I can't do what I want here. I have no control. I have no say-so. So I'd rather move on. And I think of course they're going to say they fired him, but I don't think Peterson was happy with the organization there in Philadelphia. I can be completely wrong. I usually am. So, but that is my point of view. That is my perspective of that scenario, Tom. So we'll see what happens. It'll come out. It will come out most definitely. Gotta have my H2O, man. Got to have my H2O. So, everyone, welcome. Welcome to the Niners. Welcome to the N.W.A. Niners with Attitude podcast. I am your host, Niner Sickness. Normally there's 4 of us. My boy Boston Hater, Florida Mike, and E-Man himself. Unfortunately, they can't be here tonight, but it's all good. I'm holding it down. And even if they're not here on with me, we are still a 4-crew podcast. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Tom says, should we discuss Watson? Well, what is it? I think it's kind of prematurely to talk about Watson. I think we can discuss more about him going forward in future broadcasts that we do. I mean, he's definitely an option. I'm just bitter, man. Year 1 of Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch regime. I know they're new and I know they had their reasons, but to pass up on Deshaun Watson over Solomon Thomas, and I don't even care that the Solomon Thomas is not good. Even if Solomon Thomas turned out to be like one of the greatest pass rushers that we have drafted, like Nick Bosa, I still would have been upset that we passed up on Deshaun Watson. Listen, when you come into an organization, when you're trying to lead a club to the opportunity to go to the Super Bowl, you got to be able to build around your quarterback. Your quarterback should be the centerpiece, and then start building from there. Again, even if Solomon Thomas would have turned out to be one hell of a D tackle, and I'm talking about double-digit sacks every year, I still would have wanted Deshaun Watson instead of Solomon Thomas. I would have taken Deshaun Watson over Nick Bosa. Do I believe we need to put pressure on the quarterback? Yes. But I also believe that you need to have a quarterback going forward. And am I convinced that Jimmy Garoppolo is the quarterback? No. Am I okay with him? Yes. Can we win games with him? Yes. Can we even possibly win a championship with him? Yes. We went into the 4th quarter in 2019, and we led for the first 7 minutes, or first 4 minutes into this 4th quarter. We had the lead. So can we win with Garoppolo? Of course. Can Kyle Shanahan do everything he wants to do with Garoppolo? No. There are limitations. But Garoppolo is a very servable quarterback that can win games for us. I mean, he has done nothing but win for us. So I'm okay if we don't draft a quarterback and we go another year with Jimmy Garoppolo. There are so much more present needs. Obviously, the quarterback is the talk of the offseason this year. But truth be told, I would like to get a corner to replace Richard Sherman. I would like to pick up another safety to replace Tart. This is what I would do. And I'm not going to get in depth in this, because when me and the guys come on here on Friday or going forward, we'll break it down even more. Because talking about draft prior to free agency is kind of like, because you don't know what's going to happen in free agency, right? Whatever happens in free agency determines what the Niners do in the draft. But ideally, what I would like to do is trade down from the number 12th pick to maybe 15, 16, 17 spot and collect more draft picks. At the 17th overall pick, we can get a very good corner. We need offensive line. We need a center, right guard. We need get another receiver because I'm not convinced that Kendrick Bourne is the answer. I am not convinced that Trent Taylor will be back. We don't know what's going on with Jalen Hurd. Is he ever going to play? He's been with the club for 2 years. Hasn't played a down. Cannot depend on him. So the only servable receivers we have is Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. So I would love to trade down and add more draft picks so that we can look at more players and bring in players and possibly get some great picks. What's up, Javier? So that's up for another day. The Deshaun Watson, we'll break it down and more in depth in future shows. I want to talk about Trent Williams. Do you guys think that we should sign him? And if we do sign him, what would be the highest amount that you're willing to pay for a Trent Williams services? 18 million, 20 million, 21 million a year? What would be the highest you're willing to go for Trent Williams to stay as a 49er going forward? And for how many years do we contract him for 4 more years, 5 more years? Or does he decide to go for a 1-year tender with us so that way he can actually test the market next year and have a fair chance to see what his value is? Because with the cap going down, even if he's worth more money, can teams really afford to pay him? So would he be more better for Trent Williams to sign a 1-year tender with us, play another year, and then in 2022, hopefully when the cap goes back up, at that point he can test the market and see what his worth is? Preferably, I would love to tie him down, sign him up, and move forward. The 2 players that I want to sign, even if we don't sign nobody else, is Trent Williams and Jason Verrett are the 2 players that I would love to sign and keep on this roster and continue to build around them. For Deshaun Watson, the thing about Deshaun Watson, Tom, is, and again we'll break it down further down in future shows, is how bad does he want out? All right, how bad does he want out of Texas? He's upset. But is he going to get over himself and still stay? Or is he going to bug the organization to trade him? And depending how much pressure he puts on the organization will be determined whether he stays or not. Also, depending what coach they hire would also depend whether he wants to leave or not. So there's so many moving pieces, Deshaun Watson might not even be available at all. So it's kind of hard to talk about a player that hasn't even demanded a trade. He hasn't even asked for a trade. Everything you hear is speculation from the media. Deshaun Watson himself has not asked for a trade. So to try to speculate upon whether should we give 2 picks, I mean, if you want to do it for the sake of just having a show and just discuss about it, that's fine. But the reality is, until he demands a trade, everything else is speculation regarding Mr. Watson. What's up, Javi? How you doing, Javier Rios? Welcome to the N.W.A. podcast, Niners with Attitude. How you doing, sir? Yeah, it's going to be difficult. I mean, we're gonna have to work with 175 million this year. It's going to be interesting to see what the Niners do. Now, Parag, it is a genius in working contracts. Parag is a genius in developing contracts for players. Let's see what kind of magic he is able to work with what he has. I mean, every team is going through this, but some teams have more money than others. Remember to hit the like button if you're just coming in. Javier, hello, Kathy. How you doing, Kathy? Hit the like button for me. I cannot stress enough that the more likes we get, you know that thumb button, hit the thumb, the more that YouTube will put our video on their timeline so other 49er faithful can see our show and they can subscribe to our channel. So hit that like button and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you haven't done so already, and share this video. Kathy Sanchez, good to see you. Welcome once again. Right on. So, this year, coming up, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a complete different, possibly a complete different roster, coaching staff. I heard that Adam Peters is interviewing for a potential general manager's position with another team. This guy here is the one that evaluates talent coming into the Niners from college. He's the reason why we have Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Dre Greenlaw. This guy is very talented in finding talent in the later rounds. Do you guys think that John Lynch is able to continue to draft well if Adam Peters leaves the 49ers? Do you think John Lynch will be able to carry the mantle and be successful in in drafting potential players that will help the team going forward? Because losing Adam Peters will definitely put a dent in our front office, in my humble opinion. Sorry for the wheezing. I'm getting over a flu, so I apologize in advance. The Browns beat. Wouldn't that be? Do you guys think that the Browns fans will just go crazy in Cleveland if the Browns beat the Chiefs? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the Browns, they had a. Remember that year when the Browns went 0-16? They did not win no games at all. And the fan base had a what do you call it? What do you know how when you win the Super Bowl, they have what do they call that when they have where everybody comes out and just watches the team? I forgot what it's called. But anyway, the Browns had that particular display, and the Browns win 0-16. Imagine what the fans are going to do if the Browns go into Kansas City and be able to pull a win. It's going to be hard. It really is. The Steelers are nothing like the Chiefs, but anything can happen on any given Sunday, right? So it's going to be interesting. Look at Niner fans. At least we don't like the Rams, but if you're like me, we dislike the Seahawks that much more. So congratulations to the Rams for beating the Seahawks and making the Seahawks one and done. Bye-bye, Russell Wilson. Bye-bye, DK Metcalf. Bye-bye, Tyler Lockett. It's time to sit your ass on the couch like the rest of us. Seattle Seahawks and your fan base, your season is now over. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Kimo says, my 4 players I want to be signed. 1, Trent Williams. 2, Fred Warner. 3, Juice. And 4, Jason Verrett. My 2 top priority is Williams and Verrett. Fred Warner is not a free agent, but becoming an all-pro, the way he has played, he has the opportunity to demand a new contract. But with that said, because the cap has come down, does Fred Warner have the chance to demand a contract right now because of what we're going through with COVID and the ceiling coming down? Would it not be in the best interest for Fred Warner, excuse me, to potentially play one more year and hopefully in 2022, when the cap goes back up, at that point, Warner could and his agent could request to be signed and get that money. It's going to be hard for Warner to get that money now, especially what we're going through with the cap coming down. I just don't see Warner having any wiggle room. Maybe they can have primary talks amongst his agent and the Niners front office, trying to have some type of structure down. So when the cap goes back up, they're able to tie him down. But excuse me, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Mr. Warner, potentially a contract. But he's well deserving. The guy has played. He's an All-Pro this year. He has played phenomenal since the day he came in. He is a leader in the defense. The guy is just spectacular. I am very happy that we have Fred Warner, and Dre Greenlaw is right behind him, getting better, and I'm happy that we have those 2 players. Now, Are they Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman? No. But are those two linebackers better than a lot of linebackers in the NFL today? Hell yes. Let me read some of you guys' comment. I want to see Casey lose. Me too. Me too. I'm right with you. There are only two teams I really hate when they are not playing the Niners, and that are the Cowboys and Sea Chickens. Tom, I am with you. I can't stand the Cowboys, and I can't stand the Seahawks. Now, if I have to put in who do I dislike the most? Cowboys, Seahawks. Cowboys, Seahawks. I grew up in the 80s watching the Niners in the 80s. The Bill Walsh, Joe Montana, Brent Jones, Roger Craig, John Taylor, Jerry Rice, Guy McIntyre, Randy Cross, Steve Burton, and company. Defensively, Ronnie Lott. You had Tina Turner, all those great players in the 80s, and the Cowboys, all because of the Herschel Walker trade, were able to get better. And because of those trades, so actually it should be Vikings, Cowboys, and Seahawks. Why the Vikings? Because of that stupid trade for Herschel Walker. If that trade never happened, the Cowboys would not be able to replenish themselves with good players. Of course, they still had a draft well, and they did. But without picks, you can't draft. And we would have at least 6 to 7 Super Bowls right now if it wasn't for the stupid Cowboys. The triplets, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin, getting in the way of us getting more rings. So that's why I despise the Cowboys. Seattle, I don't like because of the Seattle fans. I disliked them at one point, but I really dislike them now. Ever since the thing with Navarro Bowman, when they threw stuff at him, the fans, that made me dislike the Seahawks a lot. It looks like my boy Florida Mike is stepping in and is going to join the show. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me a second. Let me assign him to a camera. He's there. Give me a second. All right. There he is. Give me 1 second. What's up, Florida Mike? I appreciate you joining in. How you doing, sir?
Man, blessed, man. How you feeling?
Good, good. You sound good. You have the mic going on?
Nah, not at all. I haven't hooked it up at the base, so I didn't want to try to do that on the show while we live. I got to do that before the show.
Right on. You sound good though.
I appreciate it. That's cool. What's going on, family? Not a family. Everybody in the chat. Everybody watching, man. Big shout out to my bro Greg Potts. I don't know if you watching tonight, but big shout out to Greg. It's his birthday. He joined the Night Empire. Not Empire as well, but the podcast over here. So big shout out to him.
Right on. I'm glad you joined me. I was just I don't know if you were watching the show a little bit before you came on, but we were just discussing Trent Williams and the Jason Verrett the priority signings. We were talking a little bit about we haven't heard anything yet on Coach Sala, and also the news of the Eagles firing Peterson today. So there's another vacancy available out. So now there's 7 teams out there looking for a coach, and just shooting the breeze, brother. Just shooting the breeze, having fun with the fellows. Everybody's here: Javier, Tom, Don, Kathy, Chemo, and the rest of the gang. Man, just having a good time. So I am glad you were able to join me, brother. It's always a pleasure having you on the show. And what are your thoughts on the whole Deshaun Watson coming uh, to the Niners, possibly? I mentioned this in the beginning, Mike. I'm so frustrated that we passed up on him. I even went further to say that even if Solomon Thomas would have been an all pro defensive end, let's say he's not the bust that he is. Let's say he, right off the bat, he was a great defensive, double digit sacks, going after the quarterback, and great player. I still would have been upset for not going after Deshaun Watson because to me, when you start a new regime in an organization, you got to cement yourself with a future quarterback. And he was it. So, with all that said, what is your thoughts, man? Do you agree whether Solomon Thomas would have been an all-time All-Pro every year, Pro Bowler? Would you still want Deshaun Watson, or you want Deshaun Watson now because Solomon Thomas is a bust?
I'm gonna be honest, man. If I actually have YouTube footage of me prior to this show being established of me talking highly about drafting Deshaun Watson in 2017 prior to the draft. I'm actually on YouTube talking about it. So like the same way I felt then is the same way I feel now. I feel like I don't really care how great he would have been if Solomon Thomas would have not been what he is now and would have been this all pro. Cool. I feel like we had enough D linemen that we've been drafting. This is a franchise quarterback that you cannot pass on. I mean, it wasn't like, Patrick Mahomes situation where he was a good college guy and then all of a sudden he just blossomed to this superstar elite quarterback in the league. Like Patrick Mahomes was good, but Deshaun Watson out of college, bro, was like that guy. Like he won the championship. So it was like a
Two
no-brainer.
championships, yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like he beat Alabama, bro, like convincingly with his athletic ability and his abilities to play quarterback. So like you would think after we traded with the Bears and then they went and got Trubisky, you'd be like, okay, damn, we finessed him out of a trade and we finna get Watson because I was nervous that they was gonna get Watson in Chicago. I said, oh man, what are we doing? But when they didn't, I said, all right, okay, I'll take this. And then I heard Solomon Thomas' name. I was like, okay, okay. But I was I'm not a person that gets disappointed about draft picks. I would say this is probably the first time in a long time that I was disappointed in not getting a player that I actually wanted. I'm normally not high on a lot of players because I understand it's a crapshoot. I understand that, you know, it's one of those things where you hope it works out. But there are certain guys that you just know got it, man. Deshaun Watson, he was going to be elite at this level. You know he's going to be one of the top 5 in the league. So, you know, but here's the funny thing, guys, and I've said this to soften the blow of not drafting Deshaun Watson when we had the chance to. If we had drafted Deshaun Watson, we probably don't have the same squad we have with Nick Bosa and Fred Warner today. So we don't know how that would have panned out. We probably would not have. I know Watson got injured and stuff, similar to Garoppolo. I think I don't know if they were the same year, but either way, we don't know what would have happened. You know what I'm saying? We don't know, man. Like we might not have the same team. So now that we have this team, we can go back and make up for 2017 draft and do what we got to do to aggressively pursue Deshaun Watson if he's truly going to be available for trade. I'm all in for it, so I support it.
Yeah, I agree. Um,
Mhm.
I was talking to the Boston Hater the other day, and talking about how much would I be willing to give up myself, not what the Niners should do or shouldn't do. I'm talking
Hmm.
about me as a fan. What I think the Niners, what is too much and what is not enough. I think at this point, 2 first rounds, this 2021 and 2022, I would do it for a franchise caliber quarterback like Deshaun Watson. I would do that. I would give our 21 and our 22. Is that enough? I don't know. Depending how bad Watson wants to come out of Houston, we probably would have to give 2 1s and maybe a 2 or a 3. That's kind of steep, but and it's painful because we would. A lot of people say, well, if we draft Patrick Mahomes, if we bring in Watson, maybe we trade. Somebody has said, would you trade Fred Warner and 2 number 1s for Watson? And amazingly, a lot of people would do that. But what troubles me is that if we would, and what if, could have, would have, are all past tense. But if we would have drafted Deshaun Watson, we would have had everybody we have now, and he would have still been on his rookie contract. Oh my God, that within itself, brother, just pains me. But neither here or there. We are here today. I'm willing to give up 2 number 1s, but I am not willing to give up Fred Warner because I believe that he is the quarterback of the defense. And I believe we need to have 2 quarterbacks, one on the offense and one on defense. So I ask you, I see you shake your head, so I kind of think of what your answer is going to be. But would you be willing to give up Fred Warner in a trade for Watson, or would you, as much as you want Watson, you won't do it because you want to keep Warner?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to give up Fred Warner. I wouldn't even consider that. Like, there's
Okay.
enough capital that we have. They don't have a lot of draft picks, so they can't really get so selective of taking. I don't understand what value would they have to get rid of their quarterback and have no quarterback and a linebacker and a lot of picks. Like, that would be stupid on their part. But then again, they gave up Hopkins for nothing, so who knows? I think as dumb as the Texans are, I think we could just give them better than Mullins and get Deshaun Watson. I mean, why not? They are stupid enough to give Hopkins away for a running back that is way past his prime. I'd say try it. Maybe it's new people in there now. It's not the same old folks, but all jokes aside, I don't think we even have to consider giving up Fred Warner for that. I think we have enough draft capital, enough leverage to say, listen, this is what we're gonna do. We have a quarterback in Garoppolo. Obviously, we can't have him and Watson, so you're gonna give him Garoppolo by default. So there's your quarterback right there, and then you got a couple
Are you still with?
draft picks, more
Okay.
quarterback. It's a good deal for us. So win-win.
Okay, you froze on the screen there, Mike. Are you still with us? Okay, Mike froze. I don't know if he's still with us or not. Are you still with us, Mike?
Yeah, did I
Yeah, you
yeah, did
froze.
I freeze up? I
Yeah,
saw myself freeze up.
yeah, you're good now. Good, good, good. Um,
I don't know if what I said got heard, but
yeah, no, it was heard. It just you froze, so it was
okay.
just kind of like it would have been a picture of you and you talking in the background. Um, as you all know, Houston hired the GM or somebody from the front office of New England. I forgot his name. Without telling Watson, and that's where he was upset. Now, I'm hearing that he may bring Josh McDaniels with him as his coach in Houston. Now, obviously, Watson is the quarterback they would like to keep, but if Watson doesn't want to be there no more, he demands a trade because he's just not happy. What you said and what Tom said earlier as well, it could be a possibility we trade 2 number 1s and Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo has been coached by Josh McDaniel, and they have a servable quarterback while they either draft one or go from there and we get Watson. So that's a possibility. We'll see what happens. We're not going to hear much until we hear what the who's the coach of that particular team. But I haven't been hearing Houston interviewing anybody, so that just kind of lets me feel that he's bringing his own guy and Josh McDaniels. Why? I don't know, and I don't care. But that is a possibility. But so I would like to give two number ones and Jimmy and get Jimmy off our books, and then start moving forward with Deshaun Watson. That would be interesting to say the least. Let me read a couple of more questions there, Mike. And let's see here. Kimo says, perhaps Mullins, CJ, and add D Ford. If you're asking about trading them to Houston, besides D Ford, if you mention Mullins and CJ to Houston, they will not send Deshaun Watson because that to me is like slapping them in the face. That's like insulting them by trying to offer Mullins and CJ in a trade. D Ford, it's a different story, but we'll have to wait and see. Trust in the process. I know John Lynch has the best interest for the organization and the 49ers. So does Kyle. What they want to do and what they can do are going to be two different things, Mike. Right before you came in, I was talking about Adam Peters, the guy that has been next to John Lynch since John Lynch became our general manager.
Mm-hmm.
He is the reason why we have the George Kittle in the 5th round. He's the reason why we have Dre Greenlaw, Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. This guy can evaluate talent coming out of college. He is interviewing for GM positions with other teams. What he brings to the organization is a lot. Let me propose this to you, just for sake of conversation in this podcast right now. Would you be willing to let go of John Lynch and promote Adam Peters to the RGM? Or would you be okay with letting Adam Peters just move on and continue to rock with John Lynch, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, I don't know the degree and capacity that, we hear things as fans all the time, but like, I don't know the degree and capacity of the type of evaluation that Lynch and Peters put into the type of players. I'm sure they have favorites and whatnot, but I'm sure that they all collectively agree on some players. If George Kittle was a guy Peters sought out and recruited, I mean, Lynch had to approve. Lynch had to look at him as well to say, hey, I see where you're going with this. So I'm pretty sure they work as a team, although Peters is said to have a lot of success, but scouting talent. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, it's one of those things, man, in this business where when you have a winning culture and a winning team, unfortunately, that's the adjustment side. You're not gonna stick around forever. You know what I mean? So if you keep your core at what you do, you keep the nucleus of your core, no matter who comes in and out, your system will be fluid. That team over there in Massachusetts proved that, man. For the most part of their tenure under Belichick, they've been able to have coaches go in and out. And it's just like Nick Saban in football. No matter what coach comes from his tree and go to another college, he still got his core chemistry and culture there. So for me, I would say keep your core chemistry and culture, establish it. No matter how great and significant someone is, they're not going to be limited to a job that they want a promotion in. They want to go out and do their own thing. They want to get paid more. They want to be the man. Me personally, as a fan, I would say, hey man, if you really want longevity, success consistently, stay with what you're doing. You got it right here in the Bay. But as an employee, they're going to see it differently because that's a pay grade increase. That's a different challenge, a different responsibility. Some people feel like, man, I could do this just like him or even better. I want to do my own thing. A lot of us would probably feel the same way if we were in Peter's shoes. So, but I don't know, man. It's one of those things. Some people got to go out there and see what they got. I don't know the capacity, to be honest, at what type of players how they evaluate. I'm not in the locker room with them, but I'm confident that Lynch coming in, obviously, he's he is part of the success that we have. I don't know how much factor percentages wise, but he's obviously part of the success that we have in turning this whole culture around. So yeah, you know, I want to say this too, man. Like this is a little change of subject, but I hear I'm going to stop reading some Niner articles. Like I don't watch ESPN, I don't watch all these talking heads, but I try to watch like other Niner outlets, you know, other than ourselves to see what else is going on. And not to toot our horn on this show, man, but damn, bro, it's a lot of poor journalism, man. Like, damn, you know what I mean? I'm glad we got our show, bro, because we're bringing real content, man. Like I saw some article. I'm not gonna say the name of this of these people, but they're a Niner supporter, I guess, and they came out with some articles saying why we won't draft Deshaun Watson and all this crazy stuff. And it was like, man, it was a clickbait. The stuff they were saying was stupid. Like Kyle Shanahan is egotistical and arrogant, so he don't want to admit he made a mistake, so he won't draft him. And I'm like, you know, um, I don't get that vibe from him. I think Kyle Shanahan want to win, and um, if someone says they're not aggressive enough, they won't throw picks out, they're conservative. When we try to get Khalil Mack from the Raiders, right? We were willing to throw the farm for that dude, from what I hear. But the Raiders chose to go with another team because we were in the proximity of them in that rival, from what I hear.
Yeah.
Same thing with Odell Beckham. Weren't we willing to give a lot of picks for him as well, from what I hear? So, I heard with Khalil Mack more so. So if we're aggressive like that to throw all these picks for a D end, I don't see why we would not do the same on a quarterback that we pass up on, that we know is one of the top five in the league. I really think Shanahan and Lynch are going to consider Watson. So, but yeah, getting to your original question, man, we better we just better keep our core nucleus and our culture, man. Whoever come in and out, keep our core, keep that cemented, and build around that every single year. Just keep building. That's how you stay relevant for a long time. That's how you have possibilities to win multiple Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? So let's do it.
Yeah. Very good points, Mike. Appreciate it. Um, I agree with you that the opportunities were there for Khalil Mack. I think the Niners were and wanted to be aggressive towards that, but the Raiders, being the Raiders and stupid organization that they are, decided to go elsewhere, which is fine because we're better off anyway. So thank you, Raiders,
Mhm.
for that. But do you think Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch will humble themselves and say we were wrong in not drafting Deshaun Watson, and we will do our, and we are not going to make that mistake again. So we're going to do whatever it takes to try to bring him in into our organization, with regard to what we give up? Or do you think because they passed up on him and they don't want all those questions, do you think they don't even try to go after him?
I mean, if they are really worried about questions as to why they don't select a top five quarterback that they possibly can get, that will probably make us an instant Super Bowl contender, bro. If they're worried about questions, then man, we can't, we would ever win. Worried about what someone has to say, like this Kyle Shanahan didn't really appear to worry about what the critics said when he had game decisions in the Super Bowl that he was heavily criticized on. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So
Very good point.
if he's not worried about that, then why the hell are you worried about somebody that you? So if you didn't draft a player and your whole, if you have that type of ego, bro, then you're not the right person for the job. I don't care how good you are. You know what I mean? Your ego will supersede your success because you have an opportunity to get a top five player, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah,
It's a no brainer. Like to look at him and consider him is the least you can do. To turn a blind eye because you're worried about like, oh man, the backlash, or that's what I'm saying. I think some of these people are putting more on this than they should. Kyle Shanahan is a head coach who needs to win. He wants to win. That is his job. He's going to take whoever is available that can help his team. They look here. They consider, from what I hear, giving a look to Tom Brady at 40 something years old.
true.
Why the hell would they not look at a 25-year-old? all because we didn't draft him. That's it. We didn't
Yeah,
draft a lot of damn players. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. So this could be
so
redemption for them, and owning up to their mistake, bringing him, trying to bring him in now, and going forward. Like you said, I agree with you. I think
I don't think they'll have any regrets though, bro,
they're
because
professionals enough.
at that time, man, they obviously felt Solomon Thomas was the best pick for them for what they were trying to do. So I don't think they had any regrets because out of all these players that we drafted, man, you could say there were guys that we probably could have, like I said, we could have got Patrick Mahomes. You want to be real about it. You know what I mean? We could have got Aaron Rodgers, like E-Man said on the show about a week ago. You know, we probably wouldn't be in a situation to talk about a quarterback had we had drafted Aaron Rodgers. I mean, look, it's easy to say what you should do after, but at this particular draft, this is one exception to the rule for me in my book. It was common, blatant, obvious that Deshaun Watson should have been on the San Francisco 49 team in 2017. But if Kyle Shanahan and Lynch are egotistical, like these articles I've read, if they're really like that, I would be surprised. I wouldn't understand it. I'd be like, are you trying to win? Or are you trying to prove a point? You know what I mean? Because nah, man, you got top five quarterbacks don't come every day, bro. They lock them up.
Very true. And you see what happens when you lock up a good, quarterback. Look at Kansas City has turned around just because of Patrick Mahomes. Um,
Yeah.
Watson hasn't had that chance. What happened with Watson in Houston was O'Brien just being a dumb coach and not to be able to utilize what he had in front of him. And then you get rid of Hawkins. You're supposed to help your quarterback, not hurt him by removing
Mhm.
potential players instead of adding. So the whole ordeal, what's happening in Houston, as bad as it is, Watson has played very well. Imagine him
Mhm.
in a surrounding cast like the 49ers with a coach like Kyle Shanahan, what we can do and the defense that we have. It's just, I don't want to go ahead of myself because I get too excited, but man, if we can work something out with Deshaun Watson going forward, the NFL, especially the NFC, especially the West, will be put on notice that there's a new sheriff in town and we're going to dominate the West and the NFC for years to come with Watson. So we'll have to wait and see, brother, what plays out.
I'll be the first one on this show to get his jersey if we announce that. I will have his jersey on speed dial if that comes to fruition. But man, I don't know, man. I mean, this is going to tell a lot about what Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch value. Because their quarterback assessment has not been it has been criticized by a lot of Niner fans. They're like Beathard, Mullen, and even some don't like Garoppolo for whatever reason. So you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like a lot of people think Kyle Shanahan's track record at evaluating quarterbacks is not really the best, but at the end of the day, his quarterback track record ain't too bad if he helped us get to a Super Bowl in one of his 3 years in his short tenure here. So let's see what they do. I believe that they're not stupid like some people think. I believe that they're highly intelligent enough to understand who the hell Deshaun Watson is. They know they passed up on him, but that was 3, 4 years ago. Now we're talking about today. So you know what I mean? Let's see what happens.
yeah, absolutely, Mike. Roberto said he was asking, didn't Watson tear his ACL? I believe he did 2 years ago, and he recovered. He's past it. He's playing well. He's healthy again. So with technology now, with all the modern medicine, tearing an ACL now, I mean, it's not the same as it was before. He looks good for what I've seen, and he's completely healed from that. So I don't have any. I don't have any. I don't think the Niners would have any concern about his ACL if they bring him in. Let's see here. We are close to our hour show. Actually, it's been an hour. So before we call it a night, before Mike, is there anything you want to add to the podcast before we shut it down?
I am glad that Seattle lost.
Hey, amen to that.
I am. Um,
One and
I
done,
really like
baby.
the. Yeah, man. They got a lot of hype in the season as usual. LA owns them, man. Um, I am hyped about the possibility of Deshaun Watson. I really am. I'm definitely excited to talk about the possibilities. But we'll see. And this is no disrespect to Jimmy Garoppolo. Garoppolo right now is our quarterback, and we're gonna ride with him. But if that thing changes for where we can get Deshaun Watson, it's a business move that will benefit us. It's a better upgrade, and we have young players. So losing first round picks now, so what? We got young guys around them. By the time they're older and their time to go, we'll have more first round picks anyway. So like, I want Deshaun Watson, man. I'll make it known on the show. Florida Mike wants Deshaun Watson in San Francisco, and we acquire him. I believe we're instantly competitive for the Super Bowl.
I agree. I don't think you're alone, Mike. I think a lot of Niner fans are with you on wanting Deshaun Watson to come to the Niners. He is definitely an upgrade. Kimo had asked a question about whether if it would be crazy to keep both Jimmy and Watson, but my question to that, why? Why would you want to keep them both?
Man, yeah, you're not gonna have the Joe Montana, Steve Young
Yeah,
type of situation
not with a
with
salary cap.
two exactly with two quarterbacks that are in the top 15, one top five, the other top 15. Fair to say, not gonna have that situation. I mean, hey man, if it were possible somehow, some way, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But it's not. It's not expected. I mean, how many teams have a Watson caliber and Garoppolo caliber quarterback? You don't see it. Salary cap, hard to do.
I love Mr. Knights with his. This segment is brought to
Yeah.
you by the Niner Sickness and the best quality jerseys. Hit up Niner Beto after the show. You're awesome, brother.
Hey, I want this nice golden with the name. Big shout out to Nice Golden. I love his commentary too. I'm a fan of his stuff. I want this nice golden with the name located near my area in Orlando, just out of curiosity. Because University of Central Florida are the Golden Knights. So it's just kind of like a
Oh, okay.
funny coincidence that I saw Knights Golden. I'm thinking I see his name and I think about a UCF fan. But
Possibility. Let's see what he answers. And as we wind it down, a real quick question answer to Chemo. I replied to your email, brother. So if you will watch your email, you will know your answer.
hey, real quick, Beto.
Excuse
I
me.
want to give my man Tom a shout out. I think Tom and me are very similar. We hate a lot of teams. I think we hate everybody outside of the Bay, and we hate certain teams more than others. So big shout out to Tom. We're all equal opportunity haters, but there are some we hate more than others. So I respect Tom for feeling like that. I've seen Tom post a few teams he hates, the Bills, the Cowboys. I'm in the same boat with Tom. I agree with Tom. I hate a lot of teams for the reasons why that I hate, and I have valid reasons to hate a lot of teams. So big shout out to Tom, man.
Yeah, right on, Tom. Thank you. You turn more. My sugar is dropping like
Oh man.
really low, and I'm starting to feel shaky. So my
Oh
wife brought me
damn,
some
bro.
oranges. Give me a second.
Oh, that's sweet. That is sweet.
Yeah, I
That
sent her a
is
text.
sweet.
So my sugar is dropping. So as we come to an end, um, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight on this Monday night podcast, the N.W.A. Niners with Attitude podcast. As we continue to grow in 2021, continue to share the podcast, continue to let your friends and family know about it. We are now only exclusively going live on YouTube. We do not go on Facebook any longer. We share it on Facebook, but we exclusively go live here on YouTube. So remember, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and share our show with all your Niners faithful If you belong to Niner group, share, let them know about our podcast. Like Mike said earlier, there are all types of podcasts out there. A lot of 49er podcasts. And I'm not here to say that one's better than the other. Everybody's doing their thing. Best, as long as they support the red and gold, I'm good with it. But with the N.W.A, we bring you a lot of honest content regarding the 49ers. We're not going to bush around. We're not going to play fantasy football with you. We're not going to live in on a drama life. We're not going to sit there and say this or that. We're going to keep it 100% as best as possible for you guys. We're going to keep you guys up to date. We do giveaways, and we preach this all the time, and I want to continue to preach it in 2021. We are a family-based podcast. Yes, we're Niner faithful, but it's not about quality, it's about, or quantity, is about quality. And if we have 10 or 10,000, doesn't really matter, as long as we all support one another and respect one another. So with that said, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight to our podcast. I appreciate you guys for being part of the N.W.A. Niners with Attitude. Thank you to Florida Mike for stepping in, coming in, and joining me in the podcast. I appreciate you, brother. I cannot say enough how much I love and respect you, bro. The Boston Hater, you're amazing. E-Man, and to all the viewers, I cannot say enough how much I respect and I appreciate all of you. If it wasn't for you, all me and Michael would be doing is talking to ourselves tonight. Because of you, the viewers, is why we're successful in our podcast. So thank you to Chemo, Knight, Tom, Kathy, excuse me, and the rest of you on here, Roberto, I hope I don't miss your name. I hate calling out names. Don. And if I missed your name, it's not intentional. I know who you are. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for being part of the N.W.A. Continue to share, and we'll see you on Friday. Peace and God bless. See you guys, and take care.